You know what? Let's begin because it's 6 p.m. So, welcome everybody. I assume some of you are new because we relaunched these office hours after the holiday breaks. And by the way, Happy New Year to you all. And the idea is that you can present yourself in the chat, um, like if you want to present yourself to each other, like your proficiency with WeWeb, how long you've been using WeWeb, and maybe the project you're building. And then, as Luke just done it, you can go in the question and answer tab to ask a question, and we'll get them in order. So, and if needed, we'll invite you on stage to explain your question and share your screen. Oh, hello, Armin. Jordan. I think it's the first time we've got someone from Jordan, so really cool to see you. Bertrand is here from France. Cool. Let me just take, is Florian, Florian is here. Okay, promote to panelists. Because we've got many people today. Wisconsin, nice. Germany, we've got people from all over the world. I love it. New York City, WeWeb Academy like LMS. Nice.
Hi everyone.
So, hey, hey Flo. So for people who's the first time on the office hours, I'm Q, in charge of growth here at WeWeb, but Florian is in charge of product because he's the chief product officer. So hopefully he's the best person to answer your questions about the product. Vikram from India, nice. Germany as well. Okay, cool. So cool. We have people from really all over the world. I love it. I don't know what time is it for you guys, but because we're spread across many time zones today. But you know what? Let's take the first question. So Luke is asking, hi, I have 5 questions. Is it possible for me to wait to the end or go through them? Don't want to hug all the time. You know what? Ask them in one by one in the question and answer panel, and we'll try to get them. And if some are too long, maybe we get to other people and we'll tell you, but no worries. Um, okay. And Bertrand, only small details. Hide and hide dialog boxes columns needs improvement. Please, when you use the question and answer panel, be as explicit as possible because, for example, here, I'm not sure I get what you mean, Bertrand, so maybe we'll invite you on stage. Color for selected row, I select one table row, but 2 or more rows are displayed in gray, which with the corresponding formula. I think it's because maybe you're matching multiple rows, but we'll check. Which text component I cannot enter text. So we'll invite you, if that's okay, Bertrand. Because I'm not sure to get the full question. Is everything okay, Bertrand?
It just crashed. I don't know. And it reappeared. Hello.
Hey.
Hello, Bertrand.
Well,
no worries.
Yeah, okay. Of course, I can explain what I meant. Wait, I have to share my screen and then.
Yeah, because the first question, I don't get it, to be honest.
Yes. But yeah. I will show you. It's very easy.
Okay.
To see. I have actually 3 columns here. And one is for editing a quote or a project, and one is for adding. First of all, this here doesn't work. The condition force display in editor, as you see, nothing is visible here. Usually there is a dialog for editing. Okay, let's start. I say add project, and then I get this dialog. I say edit view project, I get this one. That's fine, but here is an empty space. And how can I hide the complete column here so that
You
this
can
is moved to the left?
you can set the display on the whole container instead of just the form, because here you
Yeah.
still have an empty div. That's why it's taking space, I think.
Well, I got three. Well, you
Can
could
you
say,
select it? Can you select it, Bertrand, in edit mode so we can check the
yeah. I have a workflow which hides and displays according to the buttons I pressed.
No, just select this one, the container. I think a Q is right. You may have put
The
This
display
is
on the form
the edit.
rather than the ID. Because if you destroy the div normally, like you hide it, it shouldn't take space because the div won't exist anymore. So maybe you're hiding what's inside the div and not the div itself.
Well, but I don't see anything which is. I'm using the. I think this is the container. Wait a minute, I have to move this away. Well, what should I select?
This
Okay.
div, but
Yes, this one. This one. Can you select this one? Yeah.
But this
So
one is the project list. This one, I
it's the
think.
wall.
I'm not sure.
The one in the middle, the one that disappeared. This one, yes.
This is
Can you
still the
select it?
project list. It doesn't. Yeah.
Can you select it in the layout on the left? Yes, in here.
Yeah,
If you
but
go
then it
below.
doesn't select this one.
Yes,
It only
yes, this one.
selects no, this one neither. I don't
This
know
is
what
interesting.
because this is usually this is the complete
Can you
thing. The
can you
complete.
select list projects, the first one?
Yeah.
Can
This
you
is
highlight this
this one here.
So it stops here.
Then we got edit view, which is not displayed, although I say force display in editor.
Yeah, but see, you don't have anything on the conditional rendering. I mean, you don't have any condition, so I wonder how your hide and hide logic is working.
Well, I show you the workflow. Let's say display add project. I change the variable values. Here, this is add project is true, then it displays this dialog.
And
And at the same time, it says hide the other one.
Why are you using? Yeah, okay. Okay. The first thing is that you don't need two variables, because what you can do is that conditionally show or hide the one. You don't need like to hide on show on true. Like you could be using only one variable and show one when it's false and the other when it's true, for example. But the only thing is that why are you using these variables? Because it doesn't seem to be, they are not used in the conditional rendering, no?
Well,
yes,
they do, I think, because, well, let's say go to layout, add project. For instance, I go here and
see here, condition is not bind. Yeah, okay.
Display.
That's why. That's why, because display is a CSS condition, so you can't force the display in the editor. It's only a display none in CSS. To use it with the first display in the editor, you need actually to go in the settings. So if you go in the second tab.
You mean the rendering?
The rendering, yeah, actually you need to use
rendering.
this conditioning. Yeah.
I see. Okay, but this.
I guess we have another issue. It's because I think you are using the columns element on the left, and
yeah,
I think it's because of this. When you hide it, it won't work like the grid.
Okay.
Yeah, I think this is because of it. Can we make a test, Bertrand? Can you copy paste project list so we can make sure that we won't do any issue? Yes, can you? Yeah.
Well.
Yeah.
well, Control C and now
Yes, and
Control V.
also paste it, you mean?
Yeah.
yes, yes, you can paste it
Oh,
here. It
oh,
will
doesn't
go
work.
below.
Ah,
Yes,
yeah, it's
perfect.
there. Okay.
So nice. So can you add a div instead of a columns here in the root of the section? Can you click the add button on the header
Yeah,
in
okay,
here?
okay.
Yes. Select a div, a simple div, and
And
add it into your layout. Yes, really below, in the section, like project list.
here, you mean, oops,
You can
here?
paste in the layout there directly if you
Ah,
wish.
okay.
And really at the end,
Ah,
really at the end.
I didn't, where did I put it?
Yes, perfect. And everything you have in project list, can you copy paste them in the flexbox instead of columns? You can drag and drop them. It will be easier for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Here.
This one, perfect. And then the second one.
Mm. I think this is all same as.
You should have three of them. One, two, I see only two.
But it's
Maybe.
indented, so maybe it's not.
Yeah, you need to select this one and put it into the proper into Flexbox. Yeah, perfect here. I think this is nice. Okay. So can you select the Flexbox? Yes, this one. And on the right now, can you go to the style panel? Okay, so let's select, let me hide this. Let's select horizontal instead of vertical.
Where is it?
It's just
Ah,
below
yeah,
it
okay,
here.
yeah.
Yes. Okay, perfect. So alignment like this, it's okay. And we don't want them to be wrap. So normally it should work. Why we don't have, because it's hidden. Both of
Ah,
them.
then I should maybe set the variables to true or no, I don't
Yes,
know.
but why?
Yeah, because
Why do you?
I still have the display formula. Maybe I should remove that. Where is it? No, it's not. Display is not. Ah, but here maybe.
Yeah,
Add
because
project.
this one is
This
hidden.
I will unbind this one, huh?
Okay.
And also the
And
other one.
yes.
Well, and now we should
And where
see
are
something.
they? No, they are still hidden. You see, we've got an eye crossed. Can you select the setting panel? Maybe you had also a conditional. No, it's on off. Why is it off?
Well, because. Okay, now it's on.
Okay. This is why. Can you do the same for the ad project?
The
Perfect.
other one.
And on. Okay, so now we've got all three of them. So I think now it will work like you want. In here, if you hide the ad project, I think display task will be
Move
just
to the
after.
left, you mean?
Yes, exactly.
Well,
This is an issue we have with Codos. I need to check this out why you had this issue, but normally it should work. But I think in here it would be easier for you to work with a div for this kind of a layout.
and you mean for rendering, I choose a condition here.
Yeah, in here
If I click,
it
for
should.
instance, on add, the condition says, okay, display.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay, I think I will find this out.
this should work, and you can use the conditional rendering or the display. Both of them should work. So
Yeah, okay. I will go ahead and do
okay.
that later. Now I just wanted to show you the selection. I select a project Then I go to the, oops, it doesn't. No, I cannot. Create tasks. Ah, this is hidden. So it doesn't do anything anymore. Okay, I can go to tasks, maybe. Maybe I can do that. Tasks, where are they? Ah, okay, yeah, it works. Okay, so then I display jobs for this one. By the way, it's very slow. Okay, but here you can see that although I'm clicking only on one row, two are highlighted.
Do they have the same ID?
Sorry?
Are you using the ID or some key to highlight them?
I'm
Like, how
using,
are you displaying it gray? What's the condition?
yeah, I will have a look. Wait a minute.
Because I'm pretty sure that they
I
have the
think it's
same
the row,
condition.
the line,
Yeah.
the line, and there should be workflow, selected line. And it's edit formula.
Okay.
And
So
then the
in
gray.
vendors, selected line. Okay, perfect.
Yeah, but
Can
usually,
you show us the formula of the
Yeah.
background color?
and now the color, you want to see
Yeah.
color formula.
Pretty sure
This,
because both items have the same condition. They are using the same ID, no?
yeah, that's true. They
So
have the same ID, but I only
then you
want
need
to
another key,
highlight the
maybe.
selected line.
So you need to find another key which is really specific to this line. So maybe it's a combination of ID and something else. I don't know. Depends on the data you're
Okay,
bringing.
it's clear.
Because
Yeah, I
it's
understand.
normal. Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Okay, this is great. And now the last thing, and maybe this is also interesting for other people. How can I enter rich text? That is, currently I'm using HTML tags to make this bold, but what is the purpose of this rich text element at all? I would like to enter the special instructions with some formatting.
Rich text can be used to enter text actually or display it according to the option you use. You can set it as a read-only, if I remember well.
Well, but
And
I
yeah.
didn't
We have
find any
we have
option to.
yeah. This one is only for read-only.
Ah.
You need to go to the add panel and you will find rich text input. And in that one, you will be able to write.
Rich.
Yes, it's the
Is it
second
this
one.
one?
Yes, this one.
I see. Okay, okay. I didn't get this one displayed, I think,
Yeah,
when I was looking for rich.
this is
Okay.
an internal discussion because when we removed the read-only one, we had users complaining to have to because the this one input you can set a read-only mode to this one also.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Okay. In some instances,
As you like.
this might be helpful or necessary. Okay. Thank you very much. You did a good job as always.
Thanks.
Thank you, Bertrand.
Okay.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so now answering Luke. So when a var is saved locally, or variable is saved locally, does it get updated if a new items come along? To elaborate, using the query variable to grab a part of URL and saving it locally. If the user comes back, to site with the new URL and variable is not changed, does it update in WeWeb? So actually, query string variables, they always get the latest value from the query string. So every time the query string is changing, if their name matches the key in the URL, it will change their value. If you're using the value of a query string to update a global another variable, depends on if you're saving it like in local storage, for example, and then it will update only if you have a workflow updating this variable. But for querystring variable, it gets updated every time the URL changes. Yeah. I hope this is the answer to your question. In the meantime, we have another question from an anonymous user. Xano is about to launch real-time. WeWeb is already working to have this integration of the plugin. Yeah, I think we'll be ready when they'll be ready. But Flo will know more about this. You're mute, Flo.
Sorry. Yes, so normally Xano will tell us, and I can tell you that I'm going to meet them tomorrow. So I will know tomorrow a bit more, I think. And when we can have access to the real-time feature from Xano, of course, we will update the plugin so you can use this amazing feature. And it's coming.
Yeah.
They told us that they are working on it.
Nice. Next question, very beginner question. I'm having trouble connecting dynamic elements with my data in Airtable. So I will ask you to step up on stage because this is really broad. And we'll try to help. So Theo. No, not Theo. Tilo, sorry. Who that? From Germany, if I'm still... Yeah.
Hello?
Hi, hello.
Ah, hello. Bonsoir. Okay, I'll share my screen.
Yeah.
Second. So, yes, I'm sharing my entire screen now.
Yeah.
Okay, so basically, I'm very beginner, as you might figure from the question. So I have connected Airtable successfully. I mean, and now I just chose a random data display element, and I have connected the items here with basically I chose WeWeb here and chose a random data, could be anything really, for example, citizenship.
Yeah.
You can see here, but nothing happens. And I was under the assumption that it should show something.
Yeah, see what you've done. Go back on the binding you just showed us, because you're actually on a div, so you need a list and you're bound to a text, and you can see that the expected format is in red, because actually here, if you want to display a list, you need to bind to the whole list. So we can do this on your collection, for example. Let's remove WeWeb .data0.citizenship. And let's just bind it to, if you go into collections and open WeWeb, the collection that you want, yeah. And let's just click on data.
Okay.
And see here what happened. You've got an array of data. So you've got all your records from Airtable. And now what you can do is that you can bind any children in WeWeb in the div to a specific parameter from every children. So this is exactly what actually, I don't know if you checked the Academy for this, because this is exactly the tutorial just was making in the Academy on how to bind lists, but we can try if you want. So for example, if you go into the layout on the left sidebar, if you go to layout, yeah, and open the collection list, then inside you've got the collection item, yeah, and inside let's click on the text. And now you can bind the text on the right, for example. And oh, you should have the I see that collection item is bound. Can you click on the collection item on the left in the layout? Yeah, so items.
Unbind it?
Yeah, unbind it. Okay. Okay. And let's go back to the text. Yeah. on the binding now. Yeah, see here what happened? Now you've got the current item. So you can select any text field, for example. And if you do this, now you see that you've got all the citizenships. Because what WeWeb will do is basically, if you bind items to a div, it will repeat the first element. Here it's your collection item, so it's another div for every record in your collection. And everything you will put in this specific element in WeWeb, you will be able to bind to a parameter from a record, and we will just display it for every record from the collection.
Great. Yeah,
And
amazing.
then you
Thank
can
you.
add as many text or images you want, and then you can create, complex designs like this. But yeah, but I really encourage you to go to our YouTube channel or like the Academy, because that's the kind of tutorial we have for like, I mean, maybe it's Xano, but the logic is the same in WeWebs, that you get your collection and then you display specific things inside it.
Yeah, I had been on the Academy, but maybe I was not on the right video. But I will go through it again.
No worries.
Thank you.
Cool. No worries. See ya. Next one. Many questions from Amin, sorry.
I was mute, that's why.
Yeah, you're mute all the time, Flo. I don't know why.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
you don't want to
That's
speak to
because
us anymore, but
I've got
yeah.
a neighbor working on his walls, that's why, but I was talking
Okay.
and like, why?
They don't care about me. Yeah, no, I'm fired.
Okay.
That's why.
No, but what
So
I was saying is that
yeah.
what you did, Thilo, in here you bound to a list, but you could have done what you did, select one text of one line if you selected the text, not a div.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, that was
you can
a data
select,
mismatch.
yeah, exactly.
I mean, so sorry, questions one, because we have like 5 questions. Once I create a custom component or element, how can I change them back to regular elements? I'm not sure to get what you mean. Like custom elements, you mean the one that you coded, maybe? Because you can use them as classic elements. But
I think it's the not the coded one. I think it's the no code one here. And this is a feature we don't have. When you click create component, you cannot go back.
Okay.
We know that we need to do something a bit like detach instance, like you have in Figma, for example, and we don't have that right now. So unfortunately, you need to do Command D on your keyboard to undo it.
But this is, I mean, Flow as it is in mine now, so maybe it will come one day.
Yeah, that's because it's hard to do. That's
Yeah,
why.
yeah, I imagine. Second one is I have a text input that I'd like to run a workflow when the user hits enter on the keyboard. Then you can do this with the on change trigger, I think, on the inputs.
Yes, but
And maybe we have a way to check the key press. No, not yet.
only in JS, but this is
Yeah, in JavaScript, yeah.
this is a trigger we are going to add um, in the list with many others. But
Yeah.
we know that you need to create your own custom actions on the keyboard when you hit enter or any
Because you
other
can
key.
use a if or a pass-through in JavaScript, because if I remember well, all the keys, they have a key code in JavaScript, and maybe you can ask Copilot to give you the proper key code, and you can check if the key that was pressed was enter. Because I don't know the code by heart. I mean, nobody does, but you can
It's a
do it.
workshop to add. It's not
Yeah.
it needs a bit of work. You can create um, a post in the community, and we may help you with this.
Yeah, but by the way, because there are new people, when it's too hard to or too long to debug, what we ask you is to make a post in the community, and we'll answer you directly on the community. Because sadly we can't answer everything. I have set a workflow for a page load that sets up a variable. Why does it get called 3 times? That really depends on your app, so we'll need to check. So we'll invite you for this one.
So
Hey.
Hey people, hi
hi.
beautiful people. I'm sorry about my setup, and
No
I'll try
worries.
really quick. Okay, so let's do screen share. Okay, so what was the question?
The
got it.
workflow code
The
suite.
workflow.
On the page load, yeah.
Yeah. So on action or data? Action. Debug.
If it's on the page, it's directly on the page settings, I think.
Okay, so let me first try and get rid of this model. This window, take it open here. How can I hide it? Force it, got it. Okay.
It depends on your condition, though. If the condition is true, it will display, like in the binding on the display on the
So
right.
that would be data, model.
Yeah, modal open, and then you can set it to false, yeah. And save.
Let me run it. Okay, here. Okay. So this page, when it loads, okay, so I'm getting the list of names, okay, through a REST API call. And when I run this, so let me go somewhere else. Let's look at the log. Let's go back here again. It's actually the other one. Yeah. Here, it's set 3 times. Get queries on page load, 1, 2, 3.
No, it's not. Okay, it's confusing, but I think we are going to change this because you've got it's 3 actions. You've got get couriers, then you are updating the variable, and I guess
It's succeeding at updating the variable.
yes, this is weird.
Yeah, because
yeah,
this is the trigger.
yeah, can you show us the workflow? Okay, so this is here. Okay, so the first one, can you click on test for the first one? Okay, so this is the
Okay,
first. So get couriers. You see in the list, it's the first one that is displayed. And then if you click the change variable value, if you click test on it, you still have, you see get couriers and page load, but it's variable because I guess you didn't put a name to this one. Yes.
Yeah.
Can you give, just for the purpose of this example, can you give names to your actions? So the first one, I think you did it. So it's get couriers. And the second one, for example, you can call it update couriers, variable couriers. And then you shall see only these 2 ones. So the third one, I don't know what it is, I think.
I think it's the whole workflow that succeeded, maybe.
The whole workflow, yes. Because you must be into verbal in the filter for your log, so it's displaying really everything.
Okay.
But no, it's loaded only once. So
yeah.
All right.
So you don't have it loaded 3 times. It's because it's always pushing the same payload. That's why it's confusing.
Got it. How can I pull up my questions again?
I have them. No, the next one was I have a model, but it's not stacked up.
Yeah.
On top.
So it's this model here.
Yep.
Okay, and I think it's not like stacked is number 1. Okay, like the header is kind of blocking it.
Okay. Let's. Can you
change the index
can you
now?
Can you go? Yes, exactly. Can you go to the edit mode?
Okay.
And you've got Z in axis. You see here.
So
and
0.
you just have to increase. No, you have to increase it.
Increase it.
Yeah.
Okay. Hypothetically 3.
So maybe
10.
1,000.
10, 100. I don't know what the first one is. Yes.
Okay, good. The last thing I think was that I want to set a conditional based on the status response, on the API status response, if it's 200, if it's not.
We can do this actually if you, as an example, we can go back on the workflow you have when you load the page that we were seeing just before, for example.
1 second, let me get out of this. Okay, so what do you want me to do now?
Like if you go to the workflow you were showing us just before.
The page.
Yeah, because get couriers is an API call, so this can work, yeah, trigger page workflows.
There you go.
And for example, if you test again get couriers, yeah, and then if you add an action, could be a if true, like a true false split, for example, then you can bind it to the, you see the condition true, you can bind it. And then you can do something like go to the third tab and you see the action one get couriers. If you open it, you've got in result, normally you've got the status code or somewhere. I don't remember. Or maybe not.
This is coming from Xano, so I think it should have the status.
We don't have the headers, Flo? I don't remember. It seems weird.
Yeah, normally you should.
Yeah, normally you have the headers.
maybe it's the way I set it up in Xano. I don't know.
And why just for my curiosity, why are you using the REST API call and not the Xano plugin?
Just to get the going.
Okay.
Yes, it's still in very very early stages.
This is weird. Normally you should have the status.
Yeah, because normally you've got the headers and the status, so you can do a if on the status, for example. And then check if it's 200, basically.
Another thing is that in the workflows, when you do an API call and when it does not work, actually it will go to the on error tab. It won't work like this because you cannot ignore the error queue. We don't have the feature yet.
Yeah.
So I don't think it's in the response.
Yeah,
no, because this is the body, but normally you've got the headers as well.
It's okay. It's not there. So it's probably something on my end. Well, I think that's all.
But can you go back to the workflow again,
workflow,
just one last time, please? You see at the top you've got default and you've got on error. You can close this pop-up. Sorry. At the top in here you've got on error, and I think this is what you are looking for.
Okay.
If you've got an error anywhere in your workflow, this workflow will be triggered. So the good practice is to create another workflow, a global one, to manage a pop-up or something with a parameter, and then in all your workflows on error you just execute this workflow. So you are sure it's like your try catch when you code.
Okay.
You are sure that it's going to go there. So in your get hours, if you get something like in the status that is not 200, it will go there.
Okay, so this on error actions, they are triggered at every error that might occur here?
Yes.
It doesn't matter where?
Yes, exactly.
Okay, great. Thank you so much, guys.
You're welcome.
Thanks.
And in the pipe, we do have this feature to be able to ignore the error, so you can do like Q was saying with the true false and manage errors only for some actions.
And if I may, I mean this hit enter to trigger a workflow. It's kind of important because I have like a handheld barcode scanner that's effectively a human interface device. So you can program it that it can like send a return key. So you don't have to like scan and type the whatever barcode and click the button. So that would be my use case for it. Anyway, thank you guys, and thanks so much for your time.
What you can manage this without JavaScript. I just had an idea. What you can do is put this search input into a form container.
In a form?
Yes, let me see. I'm not sure. I need to test. Okay, just create a post in the community. I need to do my works, and I will give you an answer so you can manage
Sure,
this.
sure. Thank you guys again.
No
You're
worries. See ya.
Take care now.
Bye.
Bye. Bye.
So we'll try to go fast because we only have 20 minutes and we still have 7 questions. So we'll just answer this one really quick. So people are pushing the notes and description for the workflows and variables in the editor. So it's on the community. And I know it's an old feature, so maybe this will get added, but basically to describe what's a workflow and variable, what are they doing. I think it's in our roadmap already, but we'll definitely think about it. No worries. Guillaume, I'm working on an AI chat application, not using OpenAI, using Supabase as a backend. How can I best use the real-time functionality of Supabase and WeWeb to create a good UX? I know this is very well integrated with OpenAI, and you can stream back the completion token by token, wondering if something similar is possible done the hard way.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, I don't have any clue,
It,
so I will let Flo answer.
it is with 3 or 4 lines of JavaScript. So Guillaume, just create a post, and I will answer you with the proper
Yeah,
JavaScript to do it. I did
yes,
it with Supabase too. So,
as Zachary is saying, it's probably using socket.io. Yeah, so yeah, I don't know.
but yes, I think you are just one question. Are you using an Edge function with Supabase and calling OpenAI with and getting a stream from it, or are you using Socket.io or something like that, like it with a
It's
backend?
not using OpenAI, so I'm thinking it's a stream from Supabase directly.
Then it's going to be much more complicated.
Yeah, because you will need to read packets by packets and get back reconstruct the whole answer from the API, which the OpenAI library is doing. But I think this is a thing that we'll do one day because people are asking about this for Xano too. And we've got many questions from users wanted to use like real-time backends, like Pusher or, these things to do chat apps. So yeah, definitely. But the thing is that, yeah, we'll need to also have workflows like on something is happening on the backend. What do I do in my WeWeb app,
Yeah.
So this is a big UX subject.
Yeah, this is not simple to do, but it's a nice subject. So please write a post.
Then, Ange, pretty new to WeWeb, but how do we access the test version of the app? I know about the preview mode, but it's limited. Some script don't work. It isn't shareable, doesn't work on mobile version, need to log into WeWeb, etc. What I'm talking about is a test version of the app, which is hosted on some URL. This is a pretty basic feature available on all no-code apps. And people answered already, thanks. So using the staging environment, and yeah, basically you need a paid account to be able to have a live app. And if you are on a scale plan or scale, you have the staging environment. So you can have the staging app and the production app on 2 different URLs. But to share a project on a URL, you need to pay because basically we had many issues of people using WeWeb to do phishing websites, for example, or like really bad websites, basically. So we took this decision, and our opinion is that the preview mode is good enough for most use cases. But if you need to publish, you need to take a paid account, basically. Yeah. And as Guillaume is saying, if you want staging, you can have a staging environment also in the scale plan. Pedro is asking, how can I create a reusable component with workflows on it? Workflows on it. So when you use a reusable component, you can have workflows inside the component, and then the workflows outside of it, they will be handled for each instance. They are not like, they won't get replicated because what the reusable component will do is that it will have its own way of working, and it will emit back some data from its own workflows that you can reuse, like triggers that you can reuse for workflows at the instance level, but you can't. You can't have workflows that are outside of the component inside the reusable component all the time, because that's basically outside of the components. I don't know if that makes sense. But basically, if you want them replicated, you need to use internal workflows.
Exactly. Does that answer, tell us if it answers your question,
Yeah.
Pedro? Otherwise, we will get back to it.
Yeah. And I see that Luke has many more questions, so hopefully we'll answer them. Consolidating my question. When a variable is saved locally, does it get updated if a new item comes along? To elaborate, using the query variable and grab a part of the URL and save it locally. Okay, we did answer this, so sorry. Second, I have a few images that takes a while to load, attending Xano office hour, and they weren't sure why, since it's being served in 150 milliseconds. The way it's being brought into the front end is with the Xano URL for image video storage type and assigning to a var. In the console, I can't tell what is causing it to be slow. I don't know how much time your variable is taking to load, but I'm not like binding to the collection directly. Maybe you can check. I'll invite you really quickly. Look. So I will promote.
Hi guys. Sorry for the many questions. Great, let me get to share screen too. Yeah, so I attended office hours for Xano last week and checked the back end. It looks like the pictures are being served in 150 milliseconds, but right now it's attached to a collection, which is just pulling the URL of the video or the thumbnail or the picture. So I was doing some testing to try to see, like in the console, why it's taking so long to load. It's compressed as much as possible too. It's a very small file, but if I reload, like it seems like the pictures doesn't take that long to load, but there's some other thing that
And
has
maybe
like
you have blocking calls before, like if you have like big workflows, there every action is made in the order of the workflow. So if a previous action is taking a long time to process, then the second action will wait for this first action to be processed, I don't know if it's the case for you. And also you've got a lookup, but depends on the size of the array though.
It's only
What's
two.
the size of courses.data? It's only 2?
Yeah.
Okay,
No,
so it should be really fast.
Yeah. What's the weight of your image?
Check real quick, but it's a JPEG and it's compressed a lot. If I can get the exact amount for you right now. One second. Let me check back on that and let you guys know. I just have to go through a bunch of folders. Sorry.
No worries. But basically, you're just loading the collection at the page level and then binding to the lookup. You're not doing like crazy actions before?
No.
No. Okay, so that's weird.
This one, the top one is
the test you were showing. It was on the editor or on the published app?
I'm both. I'm seeing it pretty slow. Like if I just refresh this, it's like it loads it, but you kind of see that like flutter where it takes a couple seconds to actually show the picture. This is the published app, and obviously does the same in the editor as well. The size of this picture is 74 KB.
Yeah, so it's nothing.
It's nothing. Okay. Can you create a ticket with the link of your project so we can take a look?
Will do. There were a few other questions, but I don't want to hog.
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I think I attended WeWeb Office Hours like a month ago and was trying to embed a game into this. Kind of did like a workaround. Also made a post about this as well, but essentially right now just embedding like an iframe it's being hosted on another site. This is just a example of it, but like the game is playable, and yeah, if I went through all this, I can do this while talking. There was a problem where right now, like I want to know when the users completed the game, and also when they started it. And for the start, I was thinking because there's an option where you can have the HTML element where on click it'll start a workflow. That wasn't working. I submitted like a post, and Alexis had responded about it, but he said that you could use like the wwlib execute workflow, but wasn't I was going back and forth. Haven't heard from him in a day or two, so I was trying to understand like where to do that to be able to understand. And
My
then
question is that is the iframe are you like the owner of the app used in the iframe?
not for this. This is just for purposes of testing it, but I will be.
Because you can't send data between an iframe and a website because that would cause like security issues. So you need to actually there's an old way using JavaScript to tell an iframe and a website around it to share data across them, but you need to use the same domain, I think. And then you need to use JavaScript to do this because otherwise it would be really dangerous because, for example, you could be embedding like YouTube or other website and change their whole code, from your app. So normally it's like forbidden in browsers. You need to, I don't remember the snippet to do this, but basically you need the same snippet between the overlying app and the iframe, telling each other you can like exchange data between them, And I think you need to be on the same domain.
I see. Like a simpler solution with like the on click, and also thinking about trying to see when the task is completed, so like you can see like there's a pop-up alert model. Is there a way to be able to connect to that, just like to see if it was completed, or is that kind of going the same issue, or just
same? You'll need the same because basically the iframe will have the events and we'll need to pass it back to your WeWeb app, which is a totally different website. So yeah, otherwise you should use a SDK. Like it's the same thing when you use a Vimeo, for example, video, and you have the on video end event. It's basically you're using some specific JavaScript to send you back the event. And if you don't have it, there's no way to do this because that's not WeWeb here. It's really like how the web works, basically.
I see. That makes sense. Sorry, go ahead.
Is it using in the HTML element you are putting an iframe inside it, or do you have some code? Can you show us just quickly?
This was kind of a post, another community post. Kind of the top function is just to make sure the browser doesn't crash if it's a invalid URL.
Yeah, so Q was right. You may not
need a plugin maybe to do this.
Yes, and even
embedding the specific
depends
website.
What is into the iframe, but you may not be able to communicate with it. I mean, the iframe to your application for security reason, and it's how the web is built. I mean, it's Chrome that is forbidding, and every other browser that is forbidding this.
I see. And so probably there's no chance to communicate and know when the task is completed, but when the task starts, just when the user clicks.
If the user clicks on the iframe, you can maybe watch the whole iframe element instead. So like watching clicks on these elements using a workflow, yeah.
Okay. And to where to put this wwlib.execute workflow, I was trying to watch
in a JavaScript block in the workflow.
In the workflow.
You need to add an action called JavaScript something, and inside you can paste this code.
I see. How does that? Okay, I'll try to think about that one more. Second to last question. Hopefully this one will be quicker. Say you want to, somebody resets a password and have same thing like an error message, but a success message where if you're not redirected to login page in 10 seconds, you can click here, and like here would be a hyperlink. I haven't seen. I was trying to mess around with like JavaScript to be able to do it, but I haven't seen like an easy way for that here, to be like a hyperlink to another page. Is there any resources for that?
Yeah.
You
What
mean
back?
to a WeWeb app? To a web page?
Yeah, like say I successfully like change this password, there'll be an error message that pops up. It's binded to.
You mean like binding the path to the page? Yeah.
Yeah, like right now it's on error or success. Say for on success, it's going to show. I think it's
Normally, if you go in the variables, if you bind anything, you've got the pages tab. No, sorry, in a binding, for example. So let's try, on any text or message. So here, if you go in the pages, you see under, like you've got collections, context, and pages. And then in the pages, normally you've got the path. If you open a page, I think you've got, the paths here. Under it, you've got it. Here, and you can use the path to recreate the slash, and then the URL.
I'm not sure I got what you wanted to do, Luke, with this.
Yeah, so like this, if it was success, it's going to show this change password message. I think it's for this. It's like if the user wasn't redirected, if you're not redirected in 10 seconds, please click here. And I want here to be a hyperlink to the login page, just in case the user wasn't redirected back to login after they successfully updated the password. So this change password within that variable to be able to have it here be a hyperlink to login for them to click.
Okay. So yes, indeed, you need to, or even easier, in your pop-up or your message, you can add a workflow. You don't need to use the path in here.
With a change page,
Exactly. Just select the text. Can you show the error message just by forcing the display? Maybe on the if you select it in the layout on the left. Yeah, in here now you can go to okay, you bound display here. So can you copy this formula? Copy it, just unbind. Yeah, I can do true, but
it's not gonna, it has the message is binded to something else too, so it probably won't show up.
Okay. That's
yeah.
weird.
But what Flo is saying is
okay.
that you can have a text, with a workflow and use a change page in the workflow instead of a link also. And then you can select the page, from WeWeb that you want to show.
Yeah, on that text, you can add a workflow.
Yeah.
If you go to the last tab in here, and you can add a workflow to your text. And in that workflow, you have an action called change page.
Gotcha.
And in here, you can select login. So maybe you may need to wrap your text into multiple texts if you wish to add this workflow just to some words and not to the full text. But I guess this is the easier way to do this.
I see. Okay. I had one more, but I've taken up time. So thank you both so much. I appreciate it. And hope you have
I think we lost your mic.
Yeah.
No worries.
Thank you, Lucian.
Yeah. Don't hesitate to ask them on the community or come back next week.
Exactly. And keep us in touch. Keep us posted with the game on the community posts if you figure out something with the iframe.
Yeah. I think I might have something for this that I used back in the days at my old job, but maybe we have something too internally, because actually the WeWeb app you see in the editor is an iframe and it's communicating with the editor. but it's the same domain, so that's why.
It's the same domain, so we have
Yeah. And actually, our developers took so much time to to do this, but yeah.
It's
yeah, it's not an easy thing. Zachary is asking, could we see the old import HTML in Copilot and when? Maybe.
with the Figma plugin, and hopefully this month. But
hopefully this month. So finger crossed. Hopefully this month means maybe next month, guys. But yeah, hopefully it's this month.
I will know a bit more next week. But yeah, this is in the pipe, and this is going to be released for sure in the coming weeks.
Short question, Supabase update to SDK v2. I'm taking this because Flo answered in the chat, but basically the tests are being done this month, so hopefully this month too, I think.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
yeah,
the test
sorry.
more than expected. But
Last two questions. Yeah, sorry, Flo, I did cut you because we still have two questions.
Yeah. Go on.
Can I create a library following a UI design system from Figma like Untitled UI and use it on multiple projects? Vikrant answered, yes, you can use it within a workspace if you are thinking about publishing it on the marketplace or potentially using it across your workspaces. This is only possible on a partner plan. Thank you, Vikram. This is the best answer. Or maybe there's another way.
No. Yes, for the partner plan, if you wish to share your library between workspaces, but what you can do if it's for your own workspace, what you can do is create a new project. You can start with it, and you will see in the create a new project, and in the templates you've got starter kit template. You can select this one, just add it to your workspace, and then if you go to the library tab, you will see a button called publish. So you can publish the library of this project. And then you will be able to add this library into all your projects. So basically the good practice is to create a project. You don't need to publish it to publish the project. It's free. Put your typographies, colors, components, everything inside this one. Publish this library and then use this library in your other projects. And when you make an update, you're going to need to publish this library again. And then in all your projects, you're going to have an update pop-up asking you if you wish to use the last version of the library or not. So you can update your library, keep your old projects. It will live with the old version of your library. And then your new project will use the new version of your library. So really the good practice is to do that, to gather all your things into one project, one library, and use that library into all the other projects.
Yeah, I'm just sending the video because that's the exact video we released when we were releasing the new version of the editor. So I will send it in the chat. But basically in this video, it's explained how you can publish the starter kit. And as Flo said, it's the same for every other library. But this is limited to your workspace. Yeah, right, Vikrant. That's why you need a partner plan to send across workspaces. And this will also change really soon with the future marketplace because you will be able to share it to people, basically. Okay, last question. When creating a user, I have a field that allows them to use a default language. How can I make the language that default language? I put in the language dropdown, but I can't seem to create the initial input based on the user. So I think the question is like, the project, they have a default language flow, but if the user selects another language as their default language, how can you set this for the future to be the default language? Like if I select French and next time I come, I want the app to be in French by default based on the user selection.
So the best way is to create an app workflow. And in this app workflow, you've got an action called change language. And in here, you can set up the language you wish by default to your application.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And then set the language as a variable that gets stored in the local storage. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah, and then exactly. Then you save
I
it.
did learn something. Nice. And last question from Mao. When will the variable accessible from outside the component be released so that it does not need to emit an event? I don't know. I don't even know. This was in the roadmap. I think we were gonna
we
have
are
schema
going
for events, but yeah, okay.
No, this is in the pipe. I think it's in review right now. So this is really the next features that we are going to release.
Hopefully this month or
No,
this week.
yeah, okay, so it's a big
No, sorry, I'm trolling my own CPO.
I don't know right now, but I hope pretty soon. But soon means next week or at the end of the month because of pipe release and details for it. So I hope it will be in the next release. And if it's not the case, we're gonna have to wait at the end of the month for this. But I hope we are going to manage to put this feature into the next release. But be sure that this is on top of our priority to be able to expose an internal variable into your components like we have for the input or the select input and those kind of components. So you can do your own ones. But right now, if you need to do it really now, what you can do is to create a global variable and then play with the trigger. You create a trigger and in the workflow you emit, and then you bind it to your global variable. But it's a bit of work and it's not really nice. The best way is to wait for this feature to be able to expose an internal variable. I understand.
Okay, that was a huge session, but thanks. It was really interesting, and it was really personally, I found it really cool to see people from all over the world and seeing that we were spreading like this. So yeah, no, thank you, Luke, for the cool questions, and sorry for the iframe, but we'll have a look. No worries. But again, if you wanna participate, we are doing this every week, same day, same time. We are planning on also creating new what we call onboarding calls with Slavo and Joyce that will be more like for newbie questions, I'll say, and Office Hour will be for more technical questions. But hopefully this new onboarding session, there will be like 2 or 3 or 4 of them per week, hopefully. I don't know yet, but like many of them. So it will be easier for people that are starting out with WeWeb. But as always, feel free to post on the community. Some people are really good at using WeWeb and sometimes even better than us. So feel free to ask them and we'll try to answer also as we can. If you have access to the chat, if you're on a paid account, feel free to use the chat as well. Slavo is always connected to answer you. And Maël is doing an awesome job. So yeah, feel free to ping us. And as always, if you have any feature or like a bug that you want to report, feel free to use feedback.weweb.io or support.weweb.io, and we'll try to get them in the roadmap as soon as possible. And see you, everybody.
See you. Have a great day.
Bye.
Bye.